With the farewell tour concluded, Kiss decided to cap off their career with a box set celebrating their 28-year history. Released on November 20th, 2001, the box set is a 5-disc greatest hits package. About a fourth of it is previously unreleased material, and that is what I will be reviewing. Written by Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley, this features all 4 original members on their respective instruments. This is from the Eddie Kramer demo. Gene and Paul were owed money from singing background vocals on a Lynn Christopher album. Instead of paying them the money, Ron Johnson at Electric Lady Studios allowed them to record there, with Gene and Paul adding that they wanted Kramer to produce. Kramer agreed after seeing the band and, according to Gene, picked 5 songs of the 15 they had. As I said in my review of the first Kiss album, I vastly prefer the Kramer demos. It has a much better tempo and a lot more fire. A particular highlight is Ace Frehley's lead work. It's different from what made the album, and I think he tears it up. Written by Gene, this features all 4 original members on their respective instruments, and is also from the Kramer demo. One of the best parts of the box set is the big booklet that comes with it. I wish I had read that when I did my big album reviews, because 2 songs in, I already learned something new. Gene wrote Deuce on the bass. Didn't know that. Like Strutter, I think this is a much better version. It's a faster tempo and feels more alive, more like Kiss. Written by Paul, this features Paul on rhythm guitar and lead vocals, Gene on bass and vocals, Ronnie Lejack and Steve Coronel on guitar, Brooke Ostrander on keyboards, and Tony Zarella on drums. It is from the unreleased Wicked Lester album, recorded in late 1971 and produced by Johnson. Paul wrote this prior to joining Wicked Lester. I love this song. I like the guitars, and it's a really catchy chorus. It would be really interesting to hear a Kissified version of this, and I think it was a missed opportunity for them not to re-record it because it's great. Written by Gene and Coronel, this features Gene on bass and lead vocals, Paul on rhythm guitar and vocals, Coronel and Lejack on guitar, Ostrander on keyboards and flute, and Zarella on drums. Also from the Wicked Lester album. The big problem with the Wicked Lester album is that the songs at their core are pretty good, or at least have potential, but then they got overproduced to the point that they are corny, dated, and sometimes hilarious. She is a great example of that. It's a solid song. The Kiss version is heavy and jam-like. For a lot of Kiss fans, it's top-tier Kiss. This version is hysterical. The flute is just too much. I laugh just thinking about it. The Wicked Lester version of She does not work, but it's hilarious, and you should check it out if you haven't. Written by Paul, this features Paul on rhythm guitar and lead vocals, Gene on bass and vocals, Coronel and Lejack on guitar, Ostrander on keyboards, and Zarella on drums. Interestingly, it's not as different from the Kiss version as She is. The core of the song is still there, and it works. What becomes apparent is how important the original 4 members of the band were to each other. Paul wrote a great song and deserves the credit for writing such a good song, but a lot of what made the Kiss version work was Peter Criss going apeshit on the drums and Ace's great soloing. Their chemistry was undeniable and becomes really obvious when you hear these original versions. Written by Paul, this features the 4 original members on their respective instruments. This is not from the Kramer demo, but a demo recorded at Bell Sound Studios in late 1973 to give producers Kenny Kerner and Richie Wise an idea of what Kiss's music was like. I prefer this to the album version. It is more similar to the live arrangement of the song, which I like more. I like the sing-along segments, and I think the ending is cooler. Written by Gene and Paul, this features the 4 original members on their respective instruments, and is also from the Bell Sound Studio demos. Strangely, this demo feels a little flat, almost timid, as if the band lacked confidence in it. It's also a little too long, but that might just be me just being over this song because of how often the band plays it live and how bloated it is live. Written by Paul, this features Paul on guitar and lead vocals, Matt Rayl on lead guitar, and Neil Tiemann on drums. Paul recorded it in 1966 when he was only 14 years old. Paul said he pretty much came up with the song on the spot, and it might be the first song he ever recorded. I like the guitar leads and really all the guitar parts. It is a fun and catchy song that could have worked for Kiss, made more impressive by the fact that Paul was so young when he wrote it. Written by Gene, this was recorded in 1969 by Gene's band at the time, Bullfrog Beer. It is very obviously from Gene's hippie phase, but I like that side of him. It's a very pretty song and I think could have worked well on his 1978 solo album alongside stuff like See You Tonight and Mr. Make-Believe. Written by Gene and Paul, this features the 4 original members on their respective instruments. It was part of the 1973 Bell Sound demos, which makes me wonder why this song didn't make the cut. Peter kills it on this demo, great drumming from him. While I am in the camp that prefers both Eric Carr and Eric Singer, you can't deny how good he was in the 70s and what he brought to the band. There's a jam vibe to this demo that's a lot of fun, and I think it's a great summation of early Kiss. Maybe not musically perfect, but on fire and a lot of fun. Written by Gene and Ace, this was recorded live on August 25, 1973 at the Daisy in Amityville. A weird discussion I sometimes see among Kiss fans is whether or not Ronald DeFeo, the man who killed his family that served as the inspiration for the Amityville series of books and films, saw Kiss at the Daisy as the timeline would match up. Just random. Acrobat would later become Love Theme from Kiss. The full song is a cool jam piece with a lot of different parts. The Love Theme section is, ironically, the section I would have cut. The rest of the song is really fun and features great drumming. Written by Paul, this features the 4 original members on their respective instruments and was part of the Bell Sound demos. It's a fun arrangement and I love the little Black Diamond lick in there. Written by Paul, this features all 4 original members on their respective instruments. Gene and Paul contradict each other on when this was recorded. Gene says that it was demoed for Dress to Kill, while Paul says it was an early demo for Destroyer. It definitely sounds like it belongs on Dress to Kill, and Paul says that was the reason it didn't make Destroyer. It didn't fit with the other songs on that album. The song has a cool bass line, and I enjoy the vocal harmonies from Gene and Paul. It's a fun track. Written by Gene, this features Gene on bass, rhythm guitar, drums, and lead vocals, and Ace on lead guitar. This was demoed in late 1975, and Bob Ezrin liked a riff in the song, but not much else. That riff became a key part of Flaming Youth. I agree with Ezrin. That riff is great, and Ace's leads are of course strong, but the song is pretty boring and uninspired outside of that. The best part of the song got used. Written by Paul, this features Paul on rhythm and lead guitar, bass, and lead vocals, Gene on vocals, and J.R. Smalling on drums. Like She, it's fascinating how different the song became with the input of the other members, and in this case, Ezrin. Because it's not that different, but the small changes make such a difference. Gene singing lead instead of Paul, slowing the tempo down, and a different drum beat. I do enjoy Paul's demo. It's cool. Written by Gene, this features him on all instruments and lead vocals. The verses of this song, which was demoed in early 1976, would be combined with a different chorus idea and become Calling Dr. Love. which was smart because the Bad Bad Lovin' chorus isn't great. Although the demo does feature some cool lead work, and I didn't know it was Gene. Written by Paul and Sean Delaney, this features Paul on rhythm guitar and lead vocals, Gene on bass and vocals, Bob Kulick on lead guitar, and Unknown on drums. It's pretty much the same as the album version, it just sounds like a demo. Written by Paul, this was recorded in 1977 during a soundcheck for one of the Los Angeles concerts that was recorded for Alive 2. I don't have much to say other than the band sounds really great here. Written by Paul, this features Paul on guitar, bass, and lead vocals, and Steve Korff on drums. Like Mr. Speed, it's not that different from what would become the album version, outside of the guitars being mixed slightly differently. Written by Gene, this features Gene on guitar, bass, and lead vocals. It's a very pretty song and reminiscent of Going Blind, with the bass driving the song. I love the melody and the lyrics are solid. I really like this side of Gene, and like Lita, I think this would have been good for his solo album. Written by Gene, this features Gene on all instruments and lead vocals, with Katie Sagal and the girls from the group with no name on background vocals. It's pretty much the same as the album version, slightly different, but still enjoyable. Written by Gene, this features Gene on acoustic guitar, bass, and lead vocals, Paul on electric guitar and vocals, and Unknown on drums. According to Gene, this was recorded around the same time as Love Gun. I love this. It's much better than the Unmasked version. With the less polished production, it feels more heartfelt. The bass line is great, and I love Paul's background vocals. Written by Ace, this was recorded live on November 22, 1980 in Sydney, Australia. It's a great song, and I'm glad this version was included, as it is a nice showcase of the version of the band with Ace and Eric Carr. I love this lineup, and they sound awesome on this. Written by Paul and Desmond Child, this features Paul on rhythm guitar, bass, and lead vocals, Bruce Kulick on lead guitar, and Phil Ashley on keyboards. It was recorded in late 1986 as a demo for Crazy Nights, but was rejected off that album. It should have been on Crazy Nights. Paul said it didn't make it because it didn't fit the personality of the album, which I don't totally agree with. It's still pop, but a little more dynamic than some of the Crazy Nights material. I love this song. It has a great melody and a catchy chorus. Written by Eric, this features Eric on drums, bass, and lead vocals, and Bruce on guitar. This is the original version of Little Caesar with completely different lyrics. Gene helped rewrite the lyrics into what they would become. And I agree with that. These lyrics are not as strong. Little Caesar is a better hook. I gotta tell you what I'm feeling inside. Written by Paul and Michael Bolton, this is the single remix of the track. It mostly, I think, is stronger than the album version. It feels bigger. However, the one element that did not need to be louder was the keyboards. In my opinion, this song would be a lot better without keyboards. Let me tell you my story. Written by Gene, this features Gene on lead vocals, Jesse Damon and Mark Hawkins on guitar, E.J. Curse on bass, and Brian Fox on drums. It's not that different than the album version other than the lyrics being different and a lot worse in my opinion. Written by Diane Warren, this features Paul on guitar and lead vocals, Bruce on bass, and Steve Ferrone on drums. It was written and recorded for the Detroit Rock City soundtrack in 1999. I haven't had a chance to cover this song yet, so this is a good opportunity. Obviously, this was a calculated attempt to recreate Aerosmith's I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, which had become a massive hit the year prior and had been written by Warren for a movie soundtrack, Armageddon. Paul wanted to recreate that success. He did not. This song is so corny, it physically hurts. However, I will say that Rob Cavallo's production is great and Paul's vocals are fantastic. I can get into sappy ballads, and I'd be lying if I said this wasn't a bit of a guilty pleasure, but I would be super embarrassed if anyone caught me listening to it. Written by Gene and Paul, the box set liner notes claim that the 4 original members played their respective instruments, but it claims that for every track featured from Psycho Circus. Ace does sing one of the verses, the rest is by Gene, and it's possible Ace played some guitar, but I think it's most likely that it's Kevin Valentine on drums and Tommy Thayer on guitar. This song was written and demoed for Creatures of the Night in 1982, but rejected. Gene brought it back for Psycho Circus, but it, again, didn't make the cut, which remains to be one of the big mysteries in history. This is a great song, and would work so much better on Psycho Circus than some of the other material. It's catchy and fun with a great solo. I love Ace's vocal delivery, and it just feels like classic Kiss. The box set ends with 2 live tracks, Shout It Out Loud from the 1997 Greatest Kiss release, and Rock and Roll All Night from the then upcoming Alive 4. That album, of course, got shelved in favor of Symphony, but was later released as a live The Millennium Concert. The Kiss box set peaked at number 128 on the Billboard charts and was certified gold by the end of 2001. I'm not sure what the reaction was at the time, but I know a lot of Kiss fans are very disappointed in this set, feeling that it is a glorified greatest hits package with not enough unreleased material. Not helped by Gene's usual hype man comments about how it's the mother of all box sets. I have an Alice Cooper box set and an Aerosmith one, and those really are greatest hits packages. There were maybe 3 tracks on the Alice Cooper one that I didn't already own, so in comparison, I think the Kiss one comes off pretty well. But I do understand the frustration. The first disc is pretty great, a solid mix of unreleased material and a compilation to form the history. But after that, the unreleased material gets scarcer and scarcer. The set breezes from The Elder through Asylum with 0 unreleased material. Every album should have at least had 1 or 2 unreleased tracks represented on the set. Some feel that the box set should have featured no previously released material, and I do get that. But what we did get is pretty great. I love that It's My Life and Time Traveler got official releases. But there is so much missing. Kiss could do so much with their archives, and it's maddening how little we get. Obviously, the vault happened in 2018, but that was only available through an expensive meet and greet package. I don't have $2,000 for Gene's leftovers. Why they never released just the CDs without the bells and whistles is beyond me. The deluxe releases of Destroyer and Love Gun also kinda missed the mark. I enjoyed what we did get on those sets, but they could have been so much more. Overall, I'm happy I own the box set. The packaging is cool, I love the booklet, and the unreleased material is great. I don't know if I would be happy with it had I paid full price for it in 2001 and not bought it used for pretty cheap at a vintage stock. Overall, it's a disappointing release, but still filled with a lot of cool stuff.